I would love to ask you, you know, just based on the book and the story, and you're saying that you're like an idealist, and you're obviously a very spiritual person. You live with connection, and the guidance that you're given. Uh, what was it that made it clear that kind of turning into the world of business and into the world of helping people generate a proper income? Where did that shift happen for you? And it was clear, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing now. And again, for me, when I first had this, it's amazing, right? Because when I first had this idea for this particular podcast that we're doing, I don't know if I told you, but the title is Hustle and Faith, which is
Awesome.
really this idea of trying to find ways for people who they really do want to grow. People want to grow internally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally. We want to expand our consciousness. And at the same time, we don't want that to come at the cost of our life, at the cost of, if you already have a family, you have responsibilities. You want to take care of yourself and for others. And there are people who live, and there's a destiny to have luxury in their life.
Yeah.
And therefore, how do you balance those two worlds? And
Yeah.
as a person who
Yeah.
yourself, you're living it, you're really in it, and now you're doing that kind of assistance. You're taking spiritual wisdom and wellness wisdom, and you're giving it to people in such a way that it can package and develop their businesses. I would love to hear like what that's been like for you, and how you knew that that was like the way you're supposed to go.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I remember when I was finishing my doctorate, we had to take a class called creativity. And many of us shirked at the topic, and we thought this would be like the fun elective class that had nothing to do with anything else, and we'd be building Legos. Now we got in there and realized very quickly that creativity is life. We are co-creating this world. And I remember my professor asked me, do you see yourself more as a consumer or a creator? And that question really stopped me in my tracks, because I realized that as much as I dabbled in art and I was creating lessons, and there were definitely elements of my life where my creativity was manifesting, decorating my home, or, doing art with my kids, or, I could pinpoint like little sort of pieces, but it really instilled this curiosity in me about, what can I do in this world? What can I co-create with what I've been given? And that question led me to create like a prototype for our senior project. And mine was a platform for coaches and consultants. Because I've always appreciated coaches and consultants, I thought that I would create a platform for them, kind of like social media, where you could make appointments to see them, and that they would have like a unifying philosophy around their work and the way that they worked with people and the way that they all respected people. And this platform would function in a way that you could make appointments, you could get a sense for who they are and their philosophies. And it was a nice idea. I thought I did my market research, and I didn't, I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know. I put the site together and I hired a developer, and I, started learning about this field. And a few months in, once the platform was up and running, I decided that in order to market the platform, I would interview the coaches. So just like you and I are sitting here, I got on the camera with, I think, a few ladies in the beginning and started speaking with them. And as they were talking, I was so intrigued and I was so excited. And at the same time, I saw myself needing to also be on that other side. And it occurred to me for the first time that I am not meant to be the CEO of a tech company. I am supposed to be teaching. And maybe one day I can be the other thing too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you can't do both.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time and priorities, and also I think accruing the knowledge. I understand now, 2.5 years later, that that's the CEO hat is a big hat to wear, and I think it takes time to learn how to wear it and how to work with people successfully and in a way that is really with dignity for everyone involved. And I think just upholding the highest level of our values is a big deal. And it's something I definitely wasn't ready for. So I did put that on hold. And then I had that whole year of exploring wellness and talked to Dr. Schiller and started writing my book, and then started bringing people together to help each other with our businesses. And then I realized, wow, it's so exciting to me that in my mentoring or coaching other women, that they can put all of their ideas into the world. They're not just ideas, right? So I initially started coaching after the book was written, and in a really like sort of generic way, just kind of talking about personal growth and what do I want to work on a very general, holistic level. And I started noticing a through line that many people who were coming to me had something to share or something to give or something to contribute that they didn't really understand had incredible value. And because they weren't sure that it had value, and because they were asking themselves, well, why do I need to do this? So-and-so's doing it over there. I don't need to do that. I don't want competition, or I don't want to get rejected, or all of these objections that I saw coming up. And as I started helping other people with those, I started realizing my own parallel experience and really being able to get a handle on that, and discovering that this spiritual work of, what I've come to believe is really dealing with the Yetzer Hara is about believing in ourselves. And, I interviewed Rabbi Twerski about 6 months ago. It was like the day before all the regulations came out. We went to his house and sat in his living room, and it was such a zchut to be there with him. I've read so many of his books, and he said something to me that day that changed my life. And what he said, and I'll paraphrase, was that the Yetzer Hara is self-doubt. That's what it is. And he says it's inside of everybody, himself included. And once we recognize that, our whole lives will change. And his words really entered my heart. They really did. And I left his house that day. And I said, from today forward, and I'm going to cry when I tell you this story. I said, from today forward, if I notice that, I'm going to do this thing dafka because I notice it.
Wow.